Hi, I'm Kate, the Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to my deep dive into the King of Cups. So I'm going to tell you all about the King of Cups. I'm going to tell you about his personality, his dark side, what he means when he shows up in your readings, and even what he means when he shows up reversed. So get comfortable and get ready to learn more than you even wanted to know about the King of Cups. Now, before we dive into this video, I want to let you know that I have made you a very special tarot court card cheat sheet to help you in your tarot readings. So if you want to grab your very own copy of this cheat sheet, I'm going to put the link below for you to grab that. All right, so let's dive into the King of Cups. So the King of Cups, he's kind of a touchy-feely counselor type of guy who loves hugging, chick flicks, spiritual retreats, things like that. He's the kind of guy that you just want to tell all your secrets to or tell all your problems to. Now, the key to really understanding the court cards is to pay attention to their suit. So he is the King of Cups, so from the suit of cups. And the suit of cups is associated with emotions, feelings, emotional connection, relationships, and it corresponds to the element of water. And water is a symbol for feelings, emotional depth, flow. And astrologically, if you know a little bit about astrology, think of all the water signs. So think of Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. All those personality traits of those star signs show up a little bit in the King of Cups. He's kind of like a blend of all those astrology signs. So some key words and personality traits to keep in mind when we're talking about the King of Cups. Oh, and I should say the image that you see on your screen is from the Giant Rider Waite Tarot. And the Giant Rider Waite Tarot is just the Rider Waite Tarot, but the cards are super big. But that's where I got this, this card image from. Okay, so the King of Cups, he is deep, he is sensitive, he's caring, he's emotionally intelligent, and he's also very nurturing. Now, he, like I said, he's a touchy-feely kind of guy. He kind of has that sort of like empathetic counselor energy to him. He's naturally intuitive, and he's just really good at picking up on others' emotions and feelings, even from across the room. He's very interested in spirituality and anything that allows him to kind of go beneath the surface. Think about the suit of water. Think of water diving down deep beneath the surface. That is what the King of Cups loves to do. So he is masculine on the outside, feminine on the inside. Because he is a king, which is masculine, of cups, the suit of cups is a feminine suit. He has both masculine and feminine traits kind of equally balanced within him. So he's the kind of guy who you meet him and he maybe he's kind of beefy and muscular and kind of rugged looking, but then you get to know him and you realize that he's actually very soft and tender and nurturing on the inside. So he loves a lot of like stereotypically feminine things like rom-coms and romance novels and books like Twilight, doing yoga. Not that yoga's feminine, but you know, he likes things like yoga, spiritual retreats, crystals, stuff like that. That's all stuff that he's really into. I like to think of the King of Cups as being a former alcoholic. So if you look at him, he's holding a cup. So he likes to drink, or I should say he's a former alcoholic. So in his past, he maybe has used alcohol as a way to kind of drown out all those like really intense feelings that he would feel. Because he's so sensitive, he picks up on everyone else's emotions, he feels things really deeply. So maybe in his youth he used alcohol to kind of manage that and deal with that. But he has since learned how to truly feel his feelings and process his emotions in a healthy way. So he's no longer an alcoholic, and he wants to inspire other people to do the same, to give up the booze and to have a healthier relationship with their emotions. So that's kind of how I think of the King of Cups. It's like maybe he struggled with his emotions and with alcohol in the past, but he's grown, he's matured, he's learned a better way. He may even be the kind of guy who, you know, he's in recovery and maybe he talks a lot about that and he's really into inspiring others. Okay, some symbols to keep in mind when we're looking at this card. So some symbols I want you to notice here. The number one symbol, of course, is the water. That's kind of in the background and surrounding him. The water is a symbol for the emotions and also, like I said, like a symbol of depth, emotional depth. The color blue is featured prominently on this card. And blue is a very peaceful, calm color. And here it's kind of a light blue, so it's very peaceful, very calm. I associate it with clarity, also communication. And the King of Cups is great at communicating from the heart. He's a very heart-centered kind of individual. He's holding a cup, and that cup is a symbol for space, holding a space. He's wearing a fish necklace, and if you look at his feet, it looks like he's wearing like scaled socks, like he's got little fish scales on his feet. I feel like the fish symbol is like a symbol for being able to navigate deep waters with ease. So being able to navigate the emotional waters easily, and the emotional depths easily. Now, the most interesting symbol on this card, I think, is the concrete slab beneath his feet. So his throne is resting on this block of concrete. And it's so interesting because his throne is actually very rounded. And if you compare him to the other kings' thrones are straight. And I think the King of Pentacles, I don't have him in front of me, but I feel like there's kind of like some pointy bits on his throne. But the King of Cups has this like rounded, smooth, kind of gentle looking throne. And then he's seated on this square, boxy, kind of flat block of concrete. And to me, this block of concrete, it shows it's like stability amidst emotional turmoil, because all the waves around him are kind of roiling waves. There's a ship that's like in the background bobbing up and down on the waves. There's a fish jumping, but he's seated on this block of concrete. And to me, that is a really interesting symbol. It really shows his ability to immerse himself in the emotional waters, but he's still on kind of dry land. He still has his feet firmly planted on a solid surface, even though he's surrounded by water. So it shows that he's able to, be surrounded by intense emotions, but still stay stable, calm, and really hold on to himself. All right, so some talents, some special talents that this king has. So he has achieved mastery in the emotional realm. And if we think of all the different kings, they have all achieved mastery in their own realm. So King of Swords has achieved mastery over his mind in the intellectual realm. In the mental realm, we've done King of Pentacles. He's achieved mastery in the physical and financial realm, and King of Cups has achieved mastery in the emotional realm. So he really knows how to be with his feelings, how to just sit. And he looks calm, right? He's sitting on his throne, just kind of resting. He's just sitting there. He knows how to sit with his emotions and his feelings, to not judge them, to just accept them as they are, and learn from them and process them. And he's very, he's deeply intuitive. Maybe you could even say a little bit psychic. He's deeply intuitive. He's very empathetic. So that's one of his talents. He communicates from the heart, and he is a gifted healer. Now, he's the kind of healer, though, that he doesn't actually have to go out and do anything to heal people. It's just his presence, being in his presence, having him sit with you and listen to you. Just that has a very healing effect on people. So if you were to run into the King of Cups at, say, a party, he would be the one who's kind of off, sitting in the corner, silent, not speaking, but listening, and someone will be talking to him intensely and pouring out their heart to him. And he might be nodding like this, his eyes might be wide with emotion, but he's just listening. He's like a shoulder to cry on. So you will be particularly drawn to this King of Cups if you're having problems in your life right now. So if you're going through a hard time and you just need a shoulder to cry on or someone to vent to, he can be kind of a magnet for that. You just want to tell him all your problems. You just want to like spill your heart out to him because he makes you feel seen and heard and held. Now at work, in the career field, he is most often a counselor, a therapist, or a teacher. He might be like a yoga teacher, a social worker, doing anything where he's helping other people is something that he would be really good at. And working in the spiritual realms, maybe even doing energy work or something like that would be right up his alley. Again, he's focused on helping others and he's focused on emotional, on like helping people heal emotionally. He's a great communicator. So if you work with a King of Cups type, he's the kind of person who's very good at communication. He knows how to communicate difficult information in a really tactful way that doesn't make you feel bad. And if he's like your boss, or if he has people working under him, he's the kind of person who will always be wanting to like bring in workshops to the work environment. And have everyone do special trainings and things like nonviolent communications, or if you've ever done a workshop that included trust games where you fall back into a group of people. That's kind of his thing. Some people love that kind of stuff. Some people hate it. But this is totally something that the King of Cups would be into. All right. Okay, so let's talk about what he's like when it comes to love and romance. So you may have already guessed this already, but the King of Cups, he loves love. He is in love with love. He's the most romantic out of all the kings, unsurprisingly. He's very sensual, but he's also mature and loyal. So he makes a great partner. Or, romantic partner, life partner. He really craves deep emotional connection. He likes things like eye gazing, hugging, sensual massages, and long, endless talks about each other's feelings. So he demands that his partner always be revealing their emotions and revealing their deeper undercurrents to him, which can be really exhausting. So if you're like the King of Cups, being with another King of Cups might be great. But if you're not, and you don't always want to be talking about your feelings, and you don't always want to be sharing what's going on in your emotional world with someone, then it can actually be really, really exhausting. I think that there's times in a relationship where it's nice to go deep and to share things. And then there's times where maybe you just want to like kick back and watch a movie together and not have a big, deep emotional conversation. But the King of Cups, he doesn't get that balance. He just likes to be in that place of deep sharing and connection all the time. So when it comes to money and finances, the King of Cups, he's not super into money, it's not super important to him, but he always seems to have a good financial flow. He believes that money is tied to the emotions, and so that if he's feeling like money-wise things are kind of stagnant or money is kind of tight, he looks for the emotional block that could be tied to that. So some things that the King of Cups thrives on. He thrives on deeply connecting with other people. He's definitely a people person. He thrives on deep conversations, hugging, eye gazing, having someone bare their soul to him and tell him all about their problems. He just comes alive when that is happening. He thrives on helping others, especially helping others release their emotional blocks. And he thrives on going to spiritual retreats. So I don't know if you know anyone that's like a spiritual retreat junkie and they're always going to spiritual festivals and retreats. This is totally what the King of Cups would do. Let's talk about his dark side. So the King of Cups, he can be moody, he can be overly sensitive, but tight-lipped about how he's feeling. So this is the dark side, where he's going to be in kind of an emotional funk, but then, you know, you've probably dated someone like this where you can tell something's not right and you're like, what's wrong? Are you okay? They're like, I'm fine, I'm fine. Like, that's kind of the dark side of the King of Cups. If he's in a bad mood, he might be like that. Now, he can be a little bit too emotionally self-indulgent, spending way too much time unpacking his feelings and pondering himself to the point of self-absorption. So the bright side of the King of Cups is that he's like emotionally aware, emotionally mature, and he can really like process his feelings. But then his dark side is that there's always a danger that he does that too much. He's like always doing that. He's kind of like the stereotypical emo guy. So I remember that phrase emo was big like 10, 12 years ago, and I don't really hear it anymore, but it means like emotional. So like an emo character. He's kind of like that. So a short little story that I want to tell is I had a friend who started dating someone, and at first she said, this guy is amazing. He is so emotionally mature. He's so in touch with his feelings, and he's such a great communicator, and he's so good at sharing what he's feeling. And she just thought this was like really wonderful. But then 2 or 3 months into the relationship, she said, you know what? I can't stand this guy. All he wants to do is talk about his feelings. All he wants to do is have these heart-to-heart talks, these emotional talks where we share each other's deep emotions and feelings. And she's like, I'm fine with doing that, but just not all the time. And so that kind of, when I was preparing the video script for this video, it made me think of that guy. So some ways to embody the King of Cups. Some ways to like really work with this card. So greeting your feelings and your emotions, whatever they are, whether it's a positive feeling, an intense feeling, or a negative feeling, just being able to welcome whatever feelings come up for you with gratitude and to see your emotions as gifts. Just being able to sit with your emotions, accept them without judgment, hold a space for them. This is one way to really do the work of the King of Cups. And to be able to explore your feelings, process them, and hear their message. These are all ways to embody this king. So what does it mean when the King of Cups shows up for you in one of your readings? So he could be appearing in your reading to remind you that it's time to really honor your feelings and honor your sensitive side, no matter what your feelings are. Every emotion is a gift in some way. He could be telling you that now is the time to just sit with something, not necessarily a time for action or adventure, but to just sit with something. Now, if he shows up reversed, it could mean a few different things. So if he shows up in your reading upside down, it could show that you're feeling kind of cut off from your emotions, or having trouble like really feeling your feelings, or even being afraid of your feelings, or even feeling numb. He can symbolize, like reversed, he can symbolize being a little too self-indulgent and navel-gazy when it comes to your feelings. Like instead of processing your feelings and working with them, you just kind of marinate in them and just kind of sit in them for too long. So some journaling questions. So I don't know about you, but I love tarot journaling and I love journaling about the cards. So I have 4 questions for you to journal on if you really want to go deep and explore this king even further. So the first journaling question is, what aspects of this king do you relate to? Is there anyone in your life that is like this King of Cups? And if you want to share that in the comment section, I'd love to hear it. Do you know anyone like this King of Cups? Where in your life could you use that deep sensitivity and heart-centeredness of this king? Where could you benefit from more of that? And then the last question is, and by the way, I'm going to put all these questions below this video. So if you don't want to write them down, just you can look below the video in the comments or the info section and I'll post them there. So the last question is, what is your relationship to your feelings like? How do you respond? Like, how do you respond when a negative feeling arises or a really intense feeling? What is that relationship like to your feelings? All right, so that is it. That is the King of Cups in a nutshell. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've learned something. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, I'm going to post the link to grab your court card cheat sheet below. Don't forget to grab your cheat sheet. And check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I have all kinds of fun tarot learning resources there for you to check out. And we're getting to the end of the court cards, so we just have one more court card to go. I've done all the court cards except for the King of Wands. So he's next, and he's a really juicy one, so I can't wait to get to that one. So again, thank you so much for watching.